I've got a 1999.5, born in May, F350 Powerstroke, Superduty crew cab, and the door locks weren't working. And I thought it was a door unlock relay, which I couldn't find. They're supposed to be up under the dash behind the radio. There's nothing there on mine. Well, I finally figured out that something had, it might be the door actuators, because when I go to unlock the door locks, you'd hit it several times and it just real weak signal and nothing would happen, and so we'd have to lock and unlock by hand. Anyway, I replaced all 4 actuators and they all work really good now. So here's lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock. Anyway, they're all 4 working now like they're supposed to do, and all I did was change the actuators. So here's how I did it. I hope this helps. Okay, this is a 1999 F350 Super Duty Powerstroke diesel. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to real quick change out the door lock actuators. First thing you want to do is pop off this control cover. There's a clip up here. Be real careful. It's plastic, you'll break. And once that's loose, there's 2 tabs back here. You slide it out. That'll expose your connections. And what I do now, before I break anything, is I take Deox and I spray these connections. Just give them just a little shot, each one. I've already done this, but I like doing it because that'll keep you from breaking up these connectors. And then just let it sit about 15 minutes or so and it should come right out. Now, to get the panel off, there's 2 7mm screws, one here, one under here. So we'll take our screwdriver, and you can see it right here is the other 7mm, right there on the bottom of your door panel. So we'll take those 2 out, we'll disconnect this, and then we'll lift and pull, and that panel will come right off. Remember, there is a locking tab here on these connectors, so you push that in and then pull them out. And then if you have to get at your wires, this little red deal is just a cover that comes out, and the easiest way to get that out is to take a small screwdriver and work under there and there, there and there, and just ease it out, and then maybe come over here and work it out. It'll break really easy, so just start right here, that little groove and that little groove, and work those ears up and it'll come out. Off, you have to remove this little piece. It's plastic. It has 2 plastic ears with clips. Be really careful. Just pull straight out. This is what it looks like. There's the 2 slots, and here's the ears. They're plastic with the little metal clip on it. Be real careful. What I do is I try to get under that with a screwdriver and get it started wiggling it, and then pull on that ear to keep from breaking it. So this is what your door looks like on the inside, the panel. So this is what your door is going to look like inside. It's got that dust cover. So this is the front door. So we'll just peel it back. It's got an adhesive strip around the edges. Now this isn't going to come up over the door lock lever, so if you follow it down, again we're on the front door, comes right down here, and there's a little keeper right up in there. So you undo that, undo that clip, and then that'll drop your lever so that you can get in there. Here's what the door looks like once you get her opened up. We're gonna remove this little keeper here, which holds that holds a cable, and this little keeper holds a cable. We're gonna release those, and then we're gonna come around here and we're going to undo the door latch. There's 3 torque screws. They're 27. Do not use a power tool. Use a hand driver or you will strip them. Okay, once we have the door latch loose, we're going to take the door handle off, and we do that by removing 2 11mm nuts. One of them's right in there. One of the 11mm nuts for the door handle is here. The other one is up through this hole, and you can't get a wrench on it because there's a window rail there, so you have to get up there with an 11mm end wrench and pull that puppy out of there. Okay, now we've got the door handle undone. There's a little green clip down in there, right there, and I'm going to deox it. Straight with deox, because we want to undo that, and we want to undo this little wire right here, this hook on the white clip, this plastic clip. Those two need to come undone now. Here's a little better shot of that green clip that we need to undo. At the lower end of it, the closest to the bottom of the camera, there is a little green tab sticking out. That's a lever point, so if you push on that, it'll, push it to the right, it'll open it up, and then the threaded bar, that threaded rod, can be pulled out of there, so you do not have to unthread it. Now this white clip here, I don't want to break it, so once I get the green clip undone, then I'll maneuver this and just unthread that wire out of the white clip. I've unsnapped that clip, that green clip. It's a bail that opens up, and you can see how it then allows you to push that rod out of there so you don't have to unthread the whole thing. What I did is I marked it with magic marker so that I know how to reset it, put it back in there at the right thread length. And then this white clip up above here, rather than try to unclip it and take the chance of breaking it, once I get this rod out, like that, now I will just take and unwrap that. I'll set the camera down, but I'll just thread that off there. Then it'll snap back on when we put it back together. Okay, now here's what the door handle looks like when you take it all apart. So we'll set that aside. Now this bail that was clipped into the white plastic clasp, that needs to come out, so I'll unthread it and take it out. And then this is the actuator that's hooked to the door latch down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bail off, and then we're going to pull that actuator and door latch through the door over to here, to the inside, where we can get at it. We'll pull off the old actuator, put the new actuator on, and then reverse the process. Right down there is where that bail's touching a little plastic clip. It's black plastic, it's thin and wide. That's just a little keeper, and that needs to come off. Okay, that little tab went through that second hole right there. And now that we've got that removed, and what that tab is, it just holds a wire for the door actuator. So now we can get our bail unthreaded here, get it out of the way so that we can pull our mechanism down through the inside of the door, and then that'll just go right back on the same way that it came off. Here you can see the little bail that holds the door rod. Pretty simple. Just be careful with it, it's plastic. Now here's the door latch, and here's the actuator, the door actuator that we're after. So we'll get to it next. Okay, here's the beast that we're after. This is the door latch. This is the green lever holding keeper that holds that door rod. This is our little deal that we pulled the little rod out of that was, you know, all bent up in different angles. And so this is the door latch. This is the actuator that we need to replace. This is the power to the actuator, so we undo that. And then right here is a clip. Right there is a clip. Let me get a screwdriver. Right here's a little clip. Right here's a little clip. And those just slide off. But there's another little deal, a tongue in here, that's holding it on. It's keeping it on. So run a screwdriver in there, and you'll see. I don't know if you can see how that lifts that up. Right there, it's gonna lift up. There. Now I'll put a screwdriver behind here, and the actuator arm is right here. It goes through there, so we're gonna pull. So we're gonna slide the whole mechanism to the left, out that way, and this arm will slide out, and these little ears will detach. And I'll do this first. I'll take that off first. Okay, so we've got the power cord off. So now we're just gonna slide it out, and you can see the arm right here is coming out of that little keeper. Just that simple, just ease it out of there. And this screwdriver is holding the latch, the locking tongue, out of the way so that it can release. Try to get this here so you can see the whole thing. There. Come on, baby. There we go. That is what we're trying to get replaced. See how that, it's shot, it moves, but it's just real weak. There's no resistance there. This is the replacement actuator. It looks basically the same. There's the two of them in comparison. So we'll just put it on there. This little arm goes right in there, and the ears hook right on here and here. And the tongue, the locking tongue, you gotta hold it out of the way. The arm goes in there. You see this arm, it's got quite a bit of resistance, and you can hear little gears turning in there. So that's the way it should feel, I believe. And then don't forget to plug your power in. It'll go in right here. So we'll do that now. Okay, that's what she looks like. Put it all back together. Now we'll push it back up through here. Okay, here we are. We've got the latch and actuator mechanisms pulled back up, sticking out of the door handle on the outside. Now we're going to thread our little wire bail back up through there. Make sure you put it back through the same way that you took it out. Okay, we got the bail in place. Now we're going to put the unlocking lever back in the little clip here. Okay, we've got it in there at the same place it was before, because we've got our little mark, magic marker mark. So we'll clip our little bail to keep it in place. Make sure that's secure. And we can bring this little guy up, and he goes right in here. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and reposition it. Okay, we've got our latch positioned in there, and I have one screw in, and everything looks good. The door opening lever looks good. The locking bail all looks good. So we can go ahead and start buttoning that up. So you can see I have one screw in position here. And so just kind of do everything in reverse. Your door locking rod here needs to go on the far side of this cable, this door release, latch release cable. But anyway, just kind of go in reverse and you'll get her. I've got it pretty well back together. I still have to put my nuts on here. I've got my door latch reassembled. And again, make sure you hand tighten that. If you use power on that, you're liable to strip the heads out of them. That's T27, Torx 27. So I got all the actuator and lock mechanisms all are in place. So now we're going to go ahead and test it real quick, make sure it works. Yep. I should have showed you before, but it didn't do anything. It just kind of sit there and try, but it wouldn't do it. So that actuator works, the new one. Okay, we got our door panel back on. Everything looks good. That's hopefully we covered everything for you. I'll touch on the back door here. But word to the wise, don't forget to, like I say, I like aux or deaux. Deaux at 5, I guess D5 they call it. Anyway, touch up your connections before you put them on. It'll make your life easier when you go to take them off again. And the other thing, so you don't break your plastic clips off, what I like to do is I like to put powdered graphite on these little tabs, on all these little tabs. Just regular dry graphite. This is some old stuff I've got from years ago. Didn't take much, just a little bit on those ears and those tabs and right there, and hope that helps. Looks good. The best thing is my wife will never know I did anything because all her stuff is right exactly the way she left it. Okay, we're gonna change out the door lock actuator on the right rear door. So the first thing we'll do is take off the door panel, and that's I got 2 screws, one right here. There's 2 7mm screws. Here's the first one. The second one is right here behind your deflector, right here. So we'll pull that off, and then we'll come around here and get the door handle. And the door handle, remember, it's got the 2 11mm nuts in there. Okay, now we need to, this is the connecting mechanism for the door lock. So we need to, there's a little clip back in here. We need to disconnect that clip for that connecting rod. It's a little yellow plastic clip, and it clips it right to the locking mechanism. Now we have the door lock connecting rod unclipped. The next step for me is to take off the door handle. On the inside of the door there are 2 11mm nuts you need to remove. One of them's right in here, and one of them's right behind this rubber grommet. Okay, we have the door handle nuts off. Right down in there you can see that this door latch lever is connected to a little green plastic clip. It's the same as on the other doors. We need to unclip that so we can pull that rod out and pull the handle off. In order to do that, we need to lift it up so we can get access to it. To do that, we need to pull off the door latch. These 3 T27 screws need to come out, and do it by hand. Don't use power tool. You're liable to strip it. They're easy to strip. Okay, we've got the door latch loose. So now we can pull it up to where we can access it. That little green clip right there is the one that we need to open so we can release this door lever linkage rod. And before we do that, I will mark the threads with the magic marker so I can see where it goes back in. And I'll also spray the little levered clip with Deox to lubricate it so don't break it. Okay, now we have the door handle detached. Is the door lock actuator that we're trying to get out so we can replace it, and it's right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that down inside the door, and we'll take it out this big hole here, and then we can easily access it to replace the door lock actuator. Before we do that, we need to remove the tab that's holding the electrical wire to the door lock actuator, and it is located right here. So we're going to pop that off, and then any of the connectors that are holding wires up there that are going to hang you up, you got to pull those off too so it'll come out. You have to kind of bend that mechanism around the sliding glass door rail, and then once you twist it around there, you can bring it right out here where you can work on it. This is the door latch. This is the door lock actuator. This is what we're going to replace. If you look on here, there are two little ears on the door latch, one here and one there, and the actuator snaps over that or slides over it. But before we can remove it, we'll slide it towards us, but we have to pull up this little locking ear that's right down there in the center. And once we pull that up, by sliding a screwdriver in there, like so, see that lifts up that ear so that it'll release. Then we just take a screwdriver and start working it out. See, and it just slides right off those little ears. This is the locking arm, and this is the lever that it slides into. So we're just about off. We're kind of hung up over here. This little wire. And then this is the electrical supply for the actuator. So we've got to pull it off too. It comes off pretty easy. Okay, so there's your actuator, the old one. And it's real, there's no resistance there at all. You can tell it's shot. And right here, this first hole on the left side is the hole that the little keeper tab for the electrical wire was plugged into. That's the one we had to release to get it out of there. Here's your electrical supply port. Anyway, that's the old one. Here's the new unit that goes in. Right here, you see the letter R. That's they're marked right and left because there is a right and there is a left. They are different. They're opposite of each other. So here's the new one. Here's the old one side by side. Pretty similar. So now we'll just put the new one in, and it'll just do everything in reverse, and you should be fine. Once again, I like to deox my connectors while I'm in there. Just a little shot. Here's that little yellow clip that attaches to the door lock rod coming across there. That's the one, you can't really see it, but that's when you got to unclip so you can get that thing out. Okay, now we've got it, our mechanism back up where we can get at it. We'll pull it up and we will attach the door handle connecting rod to that little green clip. Okay, it should look something like this. Now we'll let it back down in there, and we'll put our 3 T27 screws back in our latch right here. Okay, we've got our 3 screws started. for our latch. Please do not use a power tool. You will, more than likely, strip these little heads. They're not a solid, they're not a good steel. But anyway, hand tighten them. Okay, we got the retainer clip right back down in there that holds the wire to the actuator. Got it reattached. Now we're gonna put the 11mm nuts on the door handle. Remember, one here and one in here. Okay, we've got the 11mm nuts on. The door handle is in place. Now put the rubber grommet back on. Now we need to hook up the door lock connecting rod here to that little yellow clip in there on the latch mechanism, and then we have a couple of retainer clips we have to put back, and then we'll recover it. Putting it back together, don't forget to deox your connector, and also I like to rub a little bit of graphite on the retainer clip. Graphite doesn't eat your plastic. Okay, there it is right there.